हाय गाइस, वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। मैं हूं शालिनी एंड यू आर वाचिंग जस्ट बीइंग लीगल। आज की इस वीडियो में हम डिस्कस करने जा रहे हैं हिमाचल प्रदेश जुडिशरी के सिविल पेपर 2 के क्वेश्चंस को। एंड विदाउट वेस्टिंग एनी टाइम फर्दर लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द वीडियो। ऑल्सो ये आंसर की बी सेट बी की है। ओके, सो फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज एज पर द लिमिटेशन एक्ट 1963 वेयर once time has begun to run, इसका करेक्ट आंसर है बी, नो सब्सिक्वेंट डिसेबिलिटी और इनएबिलिटी टू इंस्टीट्यूट अ सूट और मेक एन एप्लीकेशन स्टॉप्स इट। सेकंड है चूज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन विद रेफरेंस टू अ वेस्टेड इंटरेस्ट अंडर टीपीए, इसका करेक्ट आंसर है बी, it is not defeated by the death of the transferee before he obtains possession. Next is Amit transfers rupees 5 lakh to Bittu on condition that he shall marry with consent of Chaman, Deepak and Deena. Bittu marries without the consent of Chaman, Deepak and Deena but obtains their consent after marriage. Choose the correct option with reference to TPA. इसका correct answer है A. Bittu has not fulfilled the condition. Fourth question है a lessee accepts from his lessor a new lease of property leased to take effect during the continuance of the existing lease. Under TPA, this would be determination of the lease by C, implied surrender. ठीक है. Next is read the following statements. ये सारी statements दी गई हैं. All of these are correct. So correct answer is D. Next is यहाँ पर एक maxim दिया गया है. Nemo dat quod non habet is the general rule in case of any valid transfer. इसका correct answer है section 41 में given है ये. Okay. Next is wagering agreements are void but not forbidden by law. The statement is true. Next question is in 1941 the colonial government had appointed a 4-member Hindu law committee to draft Hindu code bill under the chairmanship of D is the correct answer, Sir B. N. Rao. Okay. Next is a marriage solemnized between two Hindus who are spindas of each other shall be valid. इसका आंसर है ए, if the customs and usage governing each of them permits a marriage between the two. Okay. Next question is मैच द फॉलोइंग. यहाँ पर मैच द फॉलोइंग काफी पूछे गए हैं लिस्ट 1 एंड लिस्ट 2 से. सो इसका करेक्ट आंसर है ए. वाइफ कहाँ पर है? यहाँ पर HMA हिंदू अडॉप्शन एंड मेंटेनेंस एक्ट से पूछा गया है. वाइफ कहाँ पर गिवन है? वाइफ मेंशन्ड है हमारे सेक्शन 18 में. विडोड डॉटर इन लॉ कहाँ पर गिवन है? इट इज गिवन अंडर सेक्शन 19. चिल्ड्रन एंड एज्ड पेरेंट्स कहाँ पर गिवन है? इट इज गिवन अंडर सेक्शन 20 एंड डिपेंडेंट्स कहाँ गिवन है? अंडर सेक्शन 22. Next is which of the following is correct of law of limitation? तो यहाँ पर bars the judicial remedy is the correct answer. Next question है the period of limitation to redeem or recover possession of immovable property, it is 30 years. Next is the judgment of High Court of Himachal Pradesh in Messrs. Prem Sagar versus the Oriental Insurance Company Limited relates to the following provisions of ये. तो यहाँ पर C is the correct answer, that is both of these. Okay. Next is as per the Himachal Pradesh Urban Control Rent Control Act, the conversion of residential building into non-residential building, यहाँ पर D is the correct answer, can be done only with the permission in writing of the controller. Okay. Next question is with reference to section 20 of Himachal Pradesh Urban Rent Control Act, यहाँ पर read the following statement. Statement 1 क्या बोल रही है? If the landlord refuses to deliver to the tenant a written receipt for the amount paid as rent, the tenant may file an application with the controller within 3 months from the date of payment. Second क्या बोल रहा है? The controller may be ordered direct the landlord to pay damages that may double the amount of rent. तो यहाँ पर both are correct. Okay, so A is the correct option. Next is A directs B his solicitor to sell his estate by auction and to employ an auctioneer for the purpose. B names C an auctioneer to conduct the sale. For conducting the sale, choose the correct option. C is the agent of A. Okay. Next question is which of the following is not included in immovable property? It is a very easy question. Growing crops is the answer. Under the Hindu Succession Act 1956, which of the following would lead to a complete डिसइनहेरिटेंस ऑफ लीगल हेयर। तो यहाँ पर बी इज द करेक्ट आंसर, एंड हेयर murdering the person from whom they were to inherit. Okay. Next question is, with reference to Himachal Pradesh Urban Rent Control Act, match the list. ठीक है, यहाँ पर जो लिस्ट है वो है डेफिनेशंस कहाँ पर गिवन है हमारा, सेक्शन 2 में। फाइन, प्रीमियम नॉट टू बी चार्ज फॉर ग्रांट एंड रिन्यूअल एंड कंटिन्यूएंस ऑफ टेनेंसी कहाँ पर गिवन है, सेक्शन 8 में। एंड हमारा कटिंग ऑफ एंड विद होल्डिंग एसेंशियल सप्लाईज और सर्विसेज कहाँ पर गिवन है, it is given under section 11. And landlord's duty to keep the building or rented land uh, ill good repairs, तो यहाँ पर second is that is under section 13. Okay. हमारा नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन है, इन शिल्पा शैलेश वर्सेस वरुण श्रीनिवासन 2023, यहाँ पर द सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऑफ इंडिया हैज डिलीवर्ड अ जजमेंट ऑन द इशू ऑफ इररिट्रीवेबल ब्रेकडाउन ऑफ मैरिज, which of the following is true? तो यहाँ पर B is the correct answer. In exercise of its power under Article 142 Clause 1 of Constitution, the court can grant divorce on ground of irretrievable breakdown of marriage even when one party does not consent to such divorce. Okay. Next is, choose incorrect statement from the following. तो यहाँ पर C is the correct answer. That is, in case of a married Hindu girl, the husband is the natural guardian. Obviously not. Okay. Next is, which of the following statements are correct as per Hindu Marriage Act 1955? तो यहाँ पर A, the statement 1 and 2 are correct. That is, in divorce cases except for the ground under section 13, ये the court may order judicial separation if deemed just, and second is, in cases of judicial separation the court may grant a decree for divorce based on the facts and circumstances of the case. Okay. Next is, in acquisition of easement by perception under prescription under limitation act, the uninterrupted period provided for the use of light or air is 20 years. Okay. Next is, the period of limitation for suits relating to contracts is 3 years. Next is, a Hindu male M dies interstate, leaving behind his mother's father's mother's mother, mother's brother, and mother's sister. Who out of the following succeed M? तो यहाँ पर D is the correct answer, mother's father and mother's mother. Okay. Next question is, in case of continuing breach of contract or continuing tort, the limitation period is computed from the moment the last act of breach or tort continues. Okay. Next is assertion and reason. यहाँ पर है, where any special or local law prescribes for any suit, appeal, or application for a period of limitation different from period prescribed by the schedule, the provisions of section 3 of limitation act 1963 shall apply as if such period were the period prescribed by the schedule. Reason क्या है यहाँ पर, where a special law prescribes a period of limitation for filing appeal but there is no provision therefore under limitation act, the period of limitation provided under special law must be treated to be different from the that under limitation act. तो यहाँ पर B is the correct answer. Both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of A. Okay. Next is, for the purpose of limitation act, which of the following claims shall be treated as separate suit? तो यहाँ पर C is the correct answer, both A and B. Okay. Next is, in section 14 of Himachal Pradesh Urban Rent Control Act, the tenant against whom the controller has made an order for eviction on the ground of non-payment of rent due from him shall not be evicted as a result of his order if the tenant pays the amount due within period of 30 days, ठीक है, from the date of order. Next is statement, and यहाँ पर different statements दी गई हैं, तो यहाँ पर C is the correct answer, that is statement 1 and 3 are true while second and 4 are false. ठीक है. Next is 31 जो हमारा क्वेश्चन है, इट इज सेइंग फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ हिमाचल प्रदेश अर्बन रेंट कंट्रोल एक्ट एंड appellate authority or controller appointed under this act shall have the same powers of summoning and enforcing the attendance of witness and compelling the production of evidence as vested in a court under CPC. ठीक है. Next is in accordance with the definition provided under 2E of Himachal Pradesh Urban Rent Control Act, non-residential building is, यहाँ पर B is the correct answer. क्यों? क्योंकि proviso भी given है, तो उसको ध्यान से पढ़ लीजिए एक बार. Next is as per section 17 of Himachal Pradesh Urban Rent Control Act, when can a landlord recover possession of premises from a tenant who has not vacated after the agreed period despite the tenant's refusal to leave? तो यहाँ पर B is the correct answer. Okay. Next is which of the following statements are correct regarding the grounds for eviction under section 14? तो यहाँ पर only one is the आंसर. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज मैच द फॉलोइंग प्रोविजंस. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर सी इज द करेक्ट आंसर, यानी कि ए का है करेक्ट 1, यानी कि इविक्शन ऑफ टेनेंट्स है सेक्शन 14 में, फाइन्स और प्रीमियम्स वाला है अपना सेक्शन 8 में, लैंडलॉर्ड्स ड्यूटी वाला है हमारा अंडर 13 एंड लीसेस ऑफ वेकेंट बिल्डिंग जो है it is given under section 19. Okay. Next is the doctrine of lis pendens provides that the pendency of suit of proceedings shall be deemed to commence from. All of the above are correct. ठीक है. Next question is part performance would be applicable only in the following conditions. ठीक है. So D is the correct answer. The transfer must have been completed in a manner prescribed by law. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन जो है यहाँ पर थोड़ा सा डिस्प्यूटेड है, क्योंकि ये जो मैच द फॉलोइंग यहाँ पर गिवन है ये करेक्ट नहीं है, तो इसके लिए हम वेट करेंगे आंसर की का. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग लेजिस्लेशन डिफाइंस लाइसेंस. तो यहाँ पर इंडियन ईजमेंट एक्ट. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज अंडर द इंडियन कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट द डॉक्ट्राइन ऑफ फ्रस्ट्रेशन applies to contracts that become impossible to perform after they are made. However, this doctrine would not apply if the parties knew of the likelihood of the event rendering the performance impossible at the time of entering into contract and yet agreed to its performance unconditionally. Okay. Next question is the principle of quantum merit under Indian Contract Act is invoked in cases where a contract is terminated or becomes unenforceable, but one party has already partly performed, entitling them to a reasonable compensation for the value of their performance. Okay, so A is the correct answer. Next question is a contract based on mutual mistake of fact under section 20 of Indian Contract Act is void if the mistake is material and pertains to fact essential to the agreement. ठीक है. Next question is Shri Man Shankar Deva married Miss Mosmi in 2020 at Shimla and had been staying there together since then. However, he renounced the world by entering religious order of the sadhus and left the matrimonial home in 2023. During ongoing Mahakumbh, he was seen at Prayagraj. Under the Hindu Marriage Act, this would be a valid ground for the following divorce. Okay. Next is delay in institution can be condoned under Section 5 of Limitation Act in respect of appeals and applications only. Next is the limitation of claiming compensation for defamation, that libel is 1 year from the date when the libel is published. Next is illustration 1. A sells by auction to B a horse which A knows to be unsound. A says nothing to B but about the horse's unsoundness. Next is illustration 2 जो बोल रहा है B says to A, if you do not deny it, I shall assume that the horse is sound. A says nothing. यहाँ पर both 1 and 2 illustrations both amount to fraud. Okay. Next is statement 1. An agreement to restraint of trade is void but सेल ऑफ गुडविल इज एन एक्सेप्शन। स्टेटमेंट 2 बोल रहा है एन एग्रीमेंट एंड रिस्ट्रेंट ऑफ लीगल प्रोसीडिंग इज वॉइड एंड आर्बिट्रेशन इज एन एक्सेप्शन। यहाँ पर डी इज द करेक्ट आंसर। बोथ द स्टेटमेंट्स आर करेक्ट एंड आर प्रोवाइडेड अंडर सेक्शन 26 and 27 respectively. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज विद रेफरेंस टू कॉन्ट्रैक्ट एक्ट मैच द कॉलम्स। ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर डी इज द करेक्ट आंसर, यानी कि ए का सेक्शन 7 का जो है एक्सेप्टेंस बाय परफॉर्मिंग कंडीशंस, 10 जो है इट सेज व्हाट एग्रीमेंट्स आर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स, 14 बोलता है फ्री कंसेंट एंड 31 बोलता है हमारा कंटिंजेंट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज अ कंटिन्यूइंग गारंटी may at any time be revoked by the surety as to future transaction. So यहाँ पर A by notice to the creditor. 50 बोल रहा है हमारा agreement if made without consideration is void. Which of the following is an exception to this? तो यहाँ पर all of the above is the correct answer. So guys that's all for today. अब हमने करना है अपना finally criminal law का discuss paper. So see you in the next video.